it either. Right? The guys haven't had it. We haven't had it. You guys ready for training camp to wrap up? Yeah, you guys ready to go? But I actually, I think I've told you this, but I actually like it. Of course, Maria's back east right now, so if she was home in Kansas City, I'd want to go back to Kansas City. I don't know how we got on that, but I'll just let her open it up, let you all fire away. What do you got?
In the past, you kind of said that maybe you would have liked to have seen more from Jaden Hicks being a really nice preseason game, I guess.
Yeah.
How does he build?
He had a good game. Yeah, it was good to see. I mean, I think Jaden probably stuck out as probably played the best in that particular game. He had a really good day here on Monday. Him and I was just talking. He was a little down yesterday, and then today he made a big play in the red zone, came up with the interception. But he's kind of been on that trajectory, and he should be, and he's been in the system for a while now. And those kind of guys have put a little bit more pressure on because I expect them to know more and not make mistakes that maybe a rookie would make.
With the lane and progressing, just what you see out of him as he's been able to get through passes.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely a competitor. You know, we saw that on tape when we evaluated him. But, you know, like a lot of these young guys, Nick and I were just over there talking about it, you know, sometimes you got to knock some practice habits out of him. I think Mansour is learning that. I think he's embracing it. I think the vets are pushing him toward that. It's unfortunate that he's missed all the time he's missed, but we'll try to get him caught up here. I don't know what will happen with the game. That'll be on Coach Reed. But I'm anxious to get him out there and see what we got.
You get to see a little bit more of him.
Yeah.
How he looked to you.
I think Jeff is, second year. He's right about where you would think he would be. The one challenge he's going to have is we're going to ask him to play a lot of different spots there, which is a good thing for him because that means we got the confidence in him. But the challenge will be learning them all. Kind of like what Jack Cochran has done for us a number of years. He's known every spot. Jeff will have to do the same thing.
How much Jerry's speed? We saw you working kind of well with him.
Yeah, it's step by step. Now we're being careful with LJ. We want to be. We don't. You know, when you throw somebody out there too soon from a strength standpoint, then you run that risk of the injury. So we're trying to stay away from that. But listen, I got all the confidence in the world in LJ. I kind of know what he can do. He stays on top of it from a mental standpoint really, really well, and he's a good example for these young guys on how to prepare. So we'll keep him on that trajectory. I don't anticipate that he'll play in this game, but we'll see going forward.
I think that'll be your first look at Peter Woods in that first game evaluation.
Yeah, I hope to get Pete some more reps than he had. I like Pete's demeanor. I think he's got a little bit of that alpha dog in him. Now, when you're a rookie, it's hard for that to come out, because you're just feeling your way through. But he's got a serious tone about him that I really, really like, and because all the physical things he's got. So hopefully we can ramp him up, get him some more reps in this game, and see what we got.
So you spent a little quick moment with Jason Kelsey out there.
Yeah.
Just what was that?
Listen, I think Jason's great. Him and I talk a lot about the coordinator center battle when we used to go against each other, and he's great. He's into it. I remember that when he did this, and I said, I remember when you got us on that one. I'm a big fan. He lives out there in the outside of Philadelphia, and we go back there a lot. I had a chance to play golf with him this summer, and I look forward to maybe doing that again sometime. They're just good people, those Kelseys, right? How can you not want to be around them?
We're gonna go last three. Him, Matt, and Nick.
Steve, Andy's so understated publicly in a lot of ways, but obviously a great competitor. I just wonder what maybe you've seen in him in terms of the intensity and messaging since the way last season went, and how he's responded to that.
Yeah, pretty much like you would think Andy would. Listen, we're all pretty prideful people, and we got really used to winning here, and last year was a little bit different. We're trying not to go through that again. I think every one of us, Andy included, and from Andy on down, I think everybody's trying to step it up a notch. His motto of mindset, I think, is really, really important. And then he has a unique way of filtering that into his leaders, the Patricks, the Travis, the Chris, the Nick, and you can kind of see that making its way through the team.
Did you feel some kind of different sort of burn coming from him right after the season that maybe you've seen with all the successful years?
I don't know if I could say that, because I'll be honest with you, Andy's one of those guys, he turns the switch pretty quick. Like, we win a Super Bowl, boom, he's right back in the cave. We don't do so well, he's still right back in the cave. I mean, he's a grinder. That's what I've always respected about him, and that's why I enjoy working with him, because I think we're similar that way. And yeah, I don't know that I saw a big difference, but I know where his mindset is.
Matt?
Coach, Chris had said before the game that he didn't really want to play if they weren't going to play their starters, and he got the one snap and kind of had a little what gives kind of look. I mean, what's that come
Whatever the head coach says, that's what we do. He was out. I'm good. That's the boss's decision. Any others?
Steve, what have you been able to learn from the pass rush at this point?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we always want it to be better. It's hard to evaluate. This past game, I mean, I thought the Rams did a heck of a job. So much of it's hard to evaluate pass rush. There wasn't a lot of drop back pass until we got to like that 2 minute. I thought Mason had a nice rush at the end of the half, and there were a couple others in there really good. Yeah, we need to get in some of those situations where we can force them into the passing, but I got a little ways to go. I'm not 100% sure yet what we have, but we'll see.
Thanks, Coach.
Good, yeah, thank you, guys.
Practice here at St. Joe's, and with that, I'll open it up for questions.
Coach, with Peter Woods and Mark Mason, just what you see out of their development in this camp?
Well, they're both talented, but they're really getting better every day. They showed some really good flashes in the game versus the Rams. Our Mace with a couple really nice pressures, one in the red zone and one at the end of the half where he got the ball and knocked it up in the air. But just continuing to develop and get better. They come to work every day. Peter is a stout physical presence in the middle and has some athletic ability to rush as well. But they're grinding, and we're grinding them to get better every day.
What's impressed you about the way that Felix has come back?
I'll tell you what, he's explosive. He hasn't missed anything. He's really worked hard. Now, you got to remember, Felix wasn't healthy. You know, like last year, he had surgery to repair what was done, and he's really attacked the off season. He's in better shape, and he's more physical and more explosive. Really happy with where he's continuing to get better.
Joe, what have you been able to see from Marcus Harris, especially in his double teams?
I'll tell you what, I was just saying to Marcus today, he's consistent. What I mean by that, I know what I'm getting. He's physical, he mans his gap, he works hard, and impressed that he comes to work every day. He's been stout in there.
Couple more.
How much do you feel like you need more from Chris that's not just on the field, Joe, in terms of just getting the rest of the guys understand what's being asked of them as a pass rush unit?
Well, as Chris goes, we go. But, you also got to have help around him. That goes with George, goes with our Mace, Felix, all the guys. KT, another great addition. I'll tell you, Chris is in great physical shape. He's had this is my fifth year, and I equate this camp to my first year where he dominated. He's just been dominant every day. He keeps his body in great shape all year round. That helps, but he's developed more of a leader. Every year he's gotten better and better as a leader, and he really is showing great leadership with those guys.
I feel like you're talking less and he's talking more than maybe the way
I wouldn't say that, but I mean, there are times when you let the big dog just talk, and I just zip it up in the meeting room sometimes when he wants to make a point. But he's been really good with that.
What do you like most about KT?
He's another one that he's big, he's physical, mans that nose tackle position, but he's quick and explosive, and he's had some battles with Creed, which I haven't seen in my 5 years here, back and forth every day, not only in the pass rush drills but the run drills. But I really like his work ethic, and he's just a quiet assassin. He just comes to work every day.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Have a great day.
that he's a full go?
Yeah, I've seen some of the things that we saw on tape coming out of LSU. A guy who has sticky coverage, and getting them back in pads and seeing that, he can actually tackle people now. Hopefully that's going to show up this weekend.
How far behind is he when you miss first series?
He's not behind. I mean, because we go through all the walkthroughs. He's been over there, so it's the mental part that you want to make sure that you keep these guys up on. But as far as the physicalness, I mean, they all have to go through the pads and get out there and get the wind up under them. But as far as the mental, he's right where we need him.
I don't recall you doing that before, where you had a guy like him going out to the huddle to get to play when he's not playing and everything. What did that do for him?
Yeah, so the jogging in and out with him is really just showing, one is getting him in shape. Two, it is keeping him up on what the call is and not just standing on the sideline and hearing it from us. And so that's the first time I've done that with any player. And so hopefully we'll keep any other player that may be in that same position do the same thing.
In general, with the three starters you're replacing, what's your overall feel for how it's kind of coming together and where you think it's going to be by the season over?
No, I think you're right on point, because you're losing the Cooks and you're losing McDuffie and, of course, Watson. So you're trying to get the chemistry with, Gilman and all these guys that are new back there communicating. And so we're still trying to make sure we tie these shoestrings really tight. And so right now, to see the ones go out and play a little more together, we'll get a better assessment as far as where we are. But you're really not going to know until you hit full stride and those guys are out there for a game.
Hicks, where he played the most snaps,
yeah,
going to be on defense. What was the plan there, and what did you see?
No, same thing that you just said. I mean, Jaden Hicks needed to play. We were not going to play some of the other guys a lot, and he showed up and played well. I think, as we all saw, he played fast. He was hitting people from sideline to sideline. So it was a good thing to see him out there perform. He needs to do it again. You don't want to be a one-hit wonder. That's probably one of the songs I made 30 years ago. You guys didn't even hear about it, did you? All right, I was a one-hit wonder. So, but anyway, no, he did well, and so hopefully he'll continue to ascend and do what we want him to do.
What we've seen, it seems like Noel and Roland Wallace are in line maybe for elevator roles. What tells you that each player is ready for that?
Yeah, I think the thing is last year getting Noel Williams baptized into playing, and that allowed him to get his feet wet. And coming into this year, throwing them out there, some with the ones, and getting them going against really good receivers, that's good for him. As far as, I call him Crow, all right, Roland Wallace, he has been a player that we would love to play at safety, but being a Swiss Army knife that he can move down and play a little bit in the box and help us out as a nickel, that's one of the things that we've done well with him, trying to just have that position flex. So they've all done well.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Appreciate you guys.
Fire away.
See a guy like Bill Benson, just drafting the good story that it is. Just what you guys see when you brought him into the program and then now seeing him on the field. How does that translate from one reason to being on the start?
I think you're right. It's a great story, and our scouts did a great job, bringing him in. And right away, you could see in our rookie minicamp that he had dominant physical traits. And so we're doing our best to train him at a couple of positions, give him an opportunity to grow, learn our system, learn a couple of positions, and he's done a great job. He's working his tail off.
What's your message after the game to the guys about penalties?
Yeah, obviously we've got to eliminate those penalties. It's clear that those are drive killers. I mean, we're moving the ball. We have a penalty, we go backwards. And so, we've got to be more disciplined than that. We've got to play with our hands inside. We've got to make sure we're sharp on the snap count. And we're looking for guys that can do that.
You're down the number of guys. How do you balance, making sure, obviously somebody's got to go out there and play, but not over-repping some guys? Is that a delicate tightrope to walk?
Yes and no. I mean, those guys, they get nicked up. We'll get them back as soon as we can. But it also presents an opportunity for people to train in other spots, to get some extra reps. This is the time of year, training camp, that's what it's all about. And really it's part of football to be expected. It's a rare year that you don't have weeks like that or days like that. So I look at it as an opportunity. And then, yeah, if a guy's getting a little bit too much, then we share the workload, and just another opportunity for someone else.
A couple more. We'll start with Nate.
Andy, why was it so important to move Cullen inside at right guard last week with Shea being out? And were there things that you were trying to learn in terms of, I guess, how versatile he could be as a potential player?
Yeah, absolutely. The number one benefit is for him, as a tackle primarily, probably his best position. He's a guy that will only add to his value if he can play guard. So with Trey missing some time, that's a great opportunity to give a guy some training for those days that, hey, I may need to plug him in there to find our best combination. So it only benefits him.
What did you learn about Ethan Driscoll last year as he dealt with the health issues and now trying to come back this year?
Yeah. Ethan cares a ton about football. He's a good competitor. He's a very tough, hard-nosed player. And so, that showed itself last year when he was working through his surgery and coming back and getting healthy. He was there every day in our meeting room doing what he could. And he's come out and definitely asserted himself physically in this camp, just cleaning up some technique things, or primarily what we're focusing on with him.
Andy, under your running game responsibility you had, what does Kenneth Walker maybe allow you to do that maybe you couldn't do with that?
Yeah, well, he makes every play super dynamic. We can run the same kind of runs, and to his credit, he's a guy that can run multiple concepts, whether it's downhill, hard-nosed, power football, get on the edge with stretch plays. He can do it all. And his balance, his strength, his ability to make guys miss, I think are going to be special for us.
Thank you, Coach.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Good.
Fire away.
When it comes to Cyrus Allen, it's just been very impressive. Should we believe what we're seeing in your eyes of what he's been able to do here?
Well, I think Cyrus has come in and he's taken the coaching, and he's done a great job of working extremely hard and trying to concentrate on the things that we've asked him to do. There's so much detail and small things that go into being successful as a receiver in this league, and he has certainly tried to do the things we're asking him to do. It's been good to get him out there. I believe time on task, he'll just continue to get better, and he certainly has done a lot of things positive because he's worked very hard.
We still have Shea out here, obviously early on, he's still clearly dealing with the knee. What have you just seen from him recently over the last week?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of improvement with Shea. He's been able to be out there. We've increased his reps. He had a really good day today working and finishing, playing with great effort. Shea is also somebody that has come in and just worked extremely hard since he's been here, and he's been dependable for us. He's gone out there and he's improved every day physically, and he's working real hard to get out there and be a productive player for us.
I know you and the enemy are a little more vocal in your way of coaching. Do you feel like the players receive that as well as maybe in this day and age with the way you guys are a little more intense about the preparation?
I just think it's very important to be genuine and be who you are, and that's just my style, is to just have a lot of energy and to let them know. I think that's contagious. I do believe energy is contagious, and I hope it is with our group. And I hope you see the product on the field in those guys in their play, in the energy that they have by the way they play.
You say that you want Cyrus to work on little things. Is there an example of, hey, this is something that seems somewhat minor, but you can already tell he's making progress because because of what you presented?
Yeah, I think that one of the challenging things for rookies, especially rookie wide receivers, is just getting in the huddle, the communication, listening to the play call, being able to listen to the play call, get lined up in the correct alignment. So let's just start with the little things would be communication, and then being able to get lined up and not only going left or right, but getting in the exact alignment that we want for him to execute the play. So whether it's the communication, alignment, it might be a small detail in terms of a route running technique that may be different for him. So all those things are new, and they're new to most players that are rookie players in this league. We just got to continue to really focus on those things, and great things will happen if we focus on the little things.
You just talked about the route running technique. I know different play callers, different scheme guys, offense coordinators will have different ways they want the receivers to run routes. When you come into a new situation like this, how much of an adjustment is there for you? How much changes as far as, okay, this is how Andy wants it, so I got to teach this
Yeah,
technique?
it's a great question, because as much as there's routes that are similar, that are universal throughout the league, the way we teach them, there's going to be some things that are very different based off of the way that Coach Reed wants them. Coach Reed's been so successful, obviously, and done it in a way in which has been successful in route running techniques. So it's so important for me to teach it that same way, and that's what I've done. We've had a singular way we've coached it, right? And I think the players are really taken to that, but just so much respect for Coach Reed and the way he's taught his techniques. And you better bet I'm going to teach those techniques exactly that way.
Last one, Neil.
Coach, can you talk about Jalen Royals, how he's come along since you first met him this last offseason?
Yeah, Jalen is another guy. Like I said, with the other guys I mentioned, the receiver room has worked extremely hard. He's playing in a multiple position role for us. So he has some versatility because he's very smart mentally. So we've moved him around the formation. That's been a very positive thing for him, because it's increased his amount of times he's out there on plays, and obviously increases your value when you can do more for the team. And it starts with mentally being able to handle those things.
Thank you, Coach.
Good. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Good. What did you kind of see as the positives and the negatives about what you learned about Emmett in his first action on Saturday?
I would start with the positives with Emmett is, he ran the ball extremely hard, physical behind his pads. I was happy to see him do that. Had some good versatility in the passing game as well, but other than that, just, we got to clean up some footwork details, some route depth. But again, first time for him to be out there as a rookie, to play the way that he played, I felt like he did a really good job. But again, we talk about having, great details in our footwork, great details in our route depth and where we need to be for the quarterback. So those are a couple of things that he'll clean up. But for the most part, I was happy with how he played.
What are the challenges that come in with having to coach someone that comes in as polished as Kenneth when it goes into a camp?
One more time, I'm sorry.
What are the challenges with having to coach someone that comes in as polished as Kenneth did in the camp?
Yeah, he's an unbelievable player, really good leader for us. He does a good job at working hard every single day. So there's not a lot of times where you got to yell at him about effort. So for me, there's just a couple of things that he needs to clean up with eyes, pad level. But a guy that's as polished as Ken is, you just want to add a couple more tools to his tool belt. But again, he's very receptive of that, man. That's the kind of player that he is. He comes out every single day. He wants to get better. He doesn't mind the hard coaching. But again, his biggest critic is himself. So that helps you as a coach to, find a thing here or there. But for the most part, man, he's very eye-opening when it comes to being receptive of information and understanding. He'll text me, hey, Coach, you're right. I saw that, after I watched the film. But again, he's been everything plus that we wanted.
When you look at Richard, we heard a lot last year from here, and I know you weren't here, but just about trying to improve his pass protection. Whenever you see, considering he's a good receiver, where he's growing with pass protection in this camp.
Yeah, I mean the whole room has been really good, but he's one of the guys for me that I've been the most proud of for taking that step, knowing that hey, this is a big responsibility. We got the best quarterback. We got to keep him clean, and I think for him, he wanted to take that next step in his game. He's good with the ball in his hands. He's good running the routes, but he knew he had to grow in the protection game and understanding football. So didn't have a lot of knowledge on that aspect, but again, in the spring as well as in camp, he's really hit that head on, and I'm proud of him for that. But again, there's still some learning curve for him to continue to do that, hand placement, eye placement, leverage, and things of that nature. But again, he's been a very improved pass protection back, and again, I'm proud of him.
Coach, kind of a follow-up to that, like on the pass protection. I mean, Richard's only in his second year, but he's also a wide receiver convert. He kind of bounced around in college, and I know Emmett's first year. Like, how much can you coach up pass protection, and how much of it is just a mindset to, like, it's not fun.
Yeah.
A bigger guy running.
I mean, it's fun. It's always fun. But the most important thing when you talk about pass protection is the willingness. And if a guy doesn't have the 1-2 or the willingness, you don't have a shot, no matter what type of education you give them. But, when they are willing to do that, in which they are, then everything else will obviously fall into place. So for him to see it on film, know what he's doing wrong, know what he's doing right, I think that helped him tremendously to kind of grow and then watch other guys do it well. So again, we spent a lot of time in the individual room, obviously watching field, preparing, and then obviously an individual on the field to make sure that we're doing the right things, that we have good leverage, that we have great eye contact with the right person. And again, it's all about willingness. And again, when he's shown that, the other stuff will take care of itself.
Last one, Neil.
Coach, how's it been coming back to the NFL, coaching these guys?
It's been awesome, to be back on this side again. Had a great time at Oklahoma and college, but again, this is what I'm used to. This is where I feel comfortable at, and again, got a great staff around us. So it's been awesome to be here. It's been awesome to be kind of a fly on the wall and learn from all the offensive coaches as well as the defensive coaches. But overall, man, I'm excited. I'm excited about where we are, but really excited about where we're going.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Good to see you. You guys can fire away.
The earlier waiver priority, unfortunately, right, changed the game for you guys a little bit this year.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to change the process itself, so to speak. I think we're still going to go about it the way we do in terms of watching as many bubble guys as we can, talking to teams, getting as much information as we can. Obviously, it increases the likelihood we could potentially get a guy, so we got to be ready for, if we put in claims for 2 or 3 guys, we got to be prepared to obviously get those guys. But like I said, I think we're going to, attack it and watch the whole league basically, have a ton of calls and trade surplus. So I think the process will stay the same.
Can you go through where you think the receivers are right now? I mean, Cyrus and Rasheed in particular.
Yeah, I think it's, it's been a little tough just, not getting everyone on the field at the same time. I think, like what a lot of those guys have shown, I think, Cyrus, just what he's shown so far. And I think Rasheed's getting better every day. It's good to see X back out there. So just getting all those guys healthy on the field, I think we feel good about it and the skill sets we have. It's just getting everyone kind of, together. And it's giving some of those young guys an opportunity to stand out as well.
Right, is this the first year where you guys really have to consider keeping 3 quarterbacks given Pat's injury history and just where the league is right now in terms of wanting to see more from Nussmeier?
I think that's fair. I think with the way the position looks, I think both those guys are are having really good camps too. I think Justin's shown growth each day, and I think obviously his athleticism stands out. But Nuss for a 7th round pick, I think you can see his command, his poise, his accuracy. So I think not just because of Pat, I think it's just those two guys are really good football players too.
Looking at the 90-player rosters around the league, you guys have the 2nd youngest roster right now. What's the balance that you've got this season between wanting to have that youth base that you're developing versus maybe bringing in some guys that are more experienced but might challenge some of your young guys for playing time?
Yeah, I think you want to have a blend of veterans that have played, that have a innate leadership ability, with also a lot of a young core that's coming up. And I am excited about the young core, whether it's the rookies or 2nd-year players. And I think we do have a good blend of veteran leadership that can kind of mold those guys. That I think our young guys have taken the lead, and whether it's their practice habits, them in the meetings. I think it's exciting to have that kind of youth, and it's good to have talented youth as well.
Couple more. All good?
What has it meant for you in your role to have seen Poles and Borgonzi move on to getting opportunities that maybe could be potentially in your future?
Yeah, I mean, it's those guys obviously really close friends, and fortunate enough to work with those guys for a number of years, and obviously still really good friends to this day. But yeah, I mean, it's certainly motivating, and being in this position, I think you always aspire to be a GM, but I think for right now, it's like you're full attack mode. Like it's just fired up for this season.
Last two, Matt and then Nate.
What did you guys see in Khalil Benson that the rest of the league apparently didn't?
Yeah, I mean, what a unique story. Just it was one of those where, listen, we had in our 90-man roster, we had enough tackles, and we we needed some bodies for rookie minicamp, and we had some like for him from the scouts, and he had one of the better athletic profiles after he tested, and so he was we made a call, and he came to rookie minicamp, and within a couple days you realize this guy might be something, so you sign him, and each day I think he's gotten better. He's kind of just a big piece of clay where he can mold, and there's going to be ups and downs, and we're playing him in a couple spots, but his practice habits. I mean, he's a big dude, strong. He's got athleticism, and just it's been a unique fun story to see.
You guys have not been afraid in the past to make trades, either right at cut down day or right before. Just how does that conversation go, and how does it sort of maybe project this year once you get another week of preseason tape?
Yeah, so I think once we get kind of that final preseason game, and we have all the information from teams, guys that might be available, what it might take to get them, I think you balance out, is it worth giving up a future pick for a guy? And you got to listen. You got to be sure that guy's going to come in and have a role, so you're not just wasting assets. So there's got to be buy-in from the personnel side, and obviously the coaches. Are they going to use them, whether it's offense, defense, special teams, and then there could be an opportunity for a player type move. So we are certainly open, for business, open for anything.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Tough act to follow, but I'll try. If you guys actually stay awake through my conversation, I'll be impressed. Anybody have any questions I can answer?
You're the best like that defensive side of the ball. Just when you see them come out here, you're just always like, okay, how does it translate? How do you feel that it's translated after what you project?
Well, certainly we haven't gotten to regular season games yet, so there's some unknown there, but we have a coaching staff that has a history of developing and integrating players together really well, and it's been exciting to see all the new pieces interact with the veterans that are still here, and feel like we're trending in the right direction for sure.
Travis's contract was unique. It was quote-unquote a 3-year deal. Is that more of a legacy move that you would do to retain someone, or is that something that you could be open to doing more of in the future?
Well, in different teams have different philosophies about how to structure contracts, and generally we've been a team that has pretty simple, straightforward deals. In Travis's case, with him wanting to come back, and we're delighted that he did, we used some tools that are in the toolbox that maybe we don't dust off very often to be able to spread his cap hits over multiple years, and Clark Hunt was allowing us to do that in this special instance with his special legacy and role on the team. Anytime that you spread cap hits out into the future years, you're kind of borrowing using a credit card. So we don't do a lot of that, but of course with Travis, with him wanting to come back, we use some things that we wouldn't normally otherwise think about.
Sorry, Chris. From the cap perspective, how do you feel like where you are right now, and especially going into the season, and maybe still have this flexibility to add some cap space if you need to?
Sure. Well, we feel good about where we're at. Obviously, the rules change a little bit when the season starts. Certain things come onto the cap that aren't there now. We have a plan to create ample space for us to be able to operate with those charges that come on and create some flexibility. We have lots of avenues to create more flexibility and more cap space. We may take advantage of some or all in the next few weeks, but we certainly have the ability and likely will create some cap space to get us into the regular season.
I know you prepare for like any kind of scenario that can come about, so nothing ever just like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. But how often does something happen that I didn't think that team would do that, and we're in a spot, that you want to have that cap room you're talking about because somebody comes available, be it by trade or cut or what have you, that you can swoop in and get. How often do you kind of get surprised by what someone else does?
Sure. Well, having done this for a long time, I think more than you'd think. So retaining flexibility to be able to entertain the unforeseen is an important aspect of how we try to structure our cap management philosophy. We really want to present Coach and Brett with the flexibility to entertain smart roster moves that are independent of cap constraints that we may have. We certainly have some of them, but we don't have a perfect crystal ball, none of us in the front office, and opportunities present themselves that are unforeseen. So we plan to be flexible. There are limits to that, given that we have a lot of good players under contract, but we try to present Brett and Coach with opportunities through our cap management.
Last couple.
Going more into that, how it pertains to Patrick. I mean, obviously, you got one of the highest paid quarterbacks in the game off of the new structure. Like this last summer becomes the highest paid guy, but also still trying to build out the rest of your roster.
Sure. Well, first of all, I think as Clark and Coach and Brett alluded to when we did the contract extension in June, he's an elite player and an even better person. We were delighted to be able to once again extend him here, and we have a special relationship with him. Obviously, he is the highest paid player in the league. He's earned that, and we have a plan to manage around it. The fact that we have certainty around the quarterback allows us to plan how to allocate the rest of our resources in a way that gives us a lot of stability and ability to predict how we can move in the future.
Last one, anyone? Thank you, Chris.
Thank you very much.